organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
National Geographic recently mentioned Iowa City in one of their best South polls.
And incoming President Bruce Harreld wrote an open letter to University of Iowa students, faculty, and staff.
From Kinnick to Carver, we have the latest on your favorite Hawkeye sports.
We'll take a look at how 2 Iowa teams are preparing for their upcoming matchups.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nikki Crossway.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Following weeks of controversy surrounding the hiring of UI's new president, Bruce Harreld speaks out. On Tuesday, in a letter addressed to UI faculty, students, and staff, Harreld opened up a discussion about the reason he chose to come to Iowa in the letter. Harreld appealed to both faculty and students, saying he chose Iowa for similar reasons they did. Harreld said, "We need to remember why so many of us have chosen Iowa as a place to study, work, and live. We are creative and collaborative, inspired by this place and its history. We're pragmatic, but not afraid to think big. We value hard work, we speak forthrightly, and we honor our promises. That's why we are Iowa." Harreld also addressed recent concerns raised since he was named to the position. He said he fully supports faculty tenure, saying that the students should get to learn from the best in the field. He also emphasized the importance of an open dialogue, saying he is committed to keeping people informed and to hearing what matters most to you and to our university. To read the full letter, go to iowanow.com.
The autopsy of former NFL and UI football player Tyler Sash was released today. The results show that Sash accidentally overdosed while combining pain medications. The state medical examiner's office said that Sash recently dislocated his shoulder and had a history of chronic shoulder pain, which could have played a big role in his death. More studies are being done to see if Sash was also suffering from CTE, a brain disease associated with multiple occasions of trauma and concussions. Those results will be released in a few months.
A judge is allowing Alexander Kozak, accused of shooting and killing a 20-year-old woman at the Coral Ridge Mall in June, to hire an expert to conduct a mental evaluation. Kozak's private attorney, Alfredo Parrish, recently asked the court to approve an expert to evaluate Kozak a competency, diminished capacity, and intoxication at the state's expense. State law allows defendants access to public funds in order to aid in their defense, and judges have discretion whether to grant the funds. Johnson County Attorney Janet Linus approved the request for $5,000 and asked for the defense to set up the evaluation as soon as possible so a state expert can evaluate Kozak.
Presidential candidate Rand Paul made a special visit to the UI campus this week to speak with young voters. The senator from Kentucky launched a campaign to reach 10,000 college students in the state of Iowa during the month of October to ensure the Washington establishment knows the youth vote matters. A large crowd of students and Iowa City residents gathered on the Pentecrest Monday night to hear the Republican speak on his federal spending and foreign affairs platforms. After speaking, Paul shook hands and took pictures with students who pledged to support his vote for the 2016 presidential election. He will be visiting 8 more universities in Iowa.
As we speak, 5 candidates are meeting under the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip for the first Democratic debate of 2016 campaign. The debate will provide a crucial opportunity for Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, the leading Democratic contenders, to contrast their personalities, experience, and to approach the key issues in the campaign. As for Martin O'Malley, Lincoln Chafee, and Jim Webb, name recognition is key to stay in the race. The position of the 5 candidates on the stage is based on the polls since August 1st. Clinton is center stage with the highest numbers. On either side of Clinton are Sanders and O'Malley, Webb and Chafee, the 4th and 5th placing candidates, on the ends.
You know, Cole, when I think of Iowa City, I think of Hawkeye football.
Yeah, Nikki, I think of the thousands of students myself, but apparently some people tend to think of adventures. Daily Iowan TV reporter Andrew Roberts has more.
Iowa City is known to be a college town and a windy town, but what about an adventurous town? According to National Geographic, the answer is yes, as Iowa City was recently named to its list of America's most adventurous towns for its food, its fun, and its friendly atmosphere. Characterized by its river and the beauty of its 41 public parks, it's no surprise that Iowa City earned the description of adventurous. Along with its natural side, Nat Geo recognized Iowa City for its dining side. in particular Oasis Falafel, which responded with shock.
We're excited, that's for sure. National Geographic is not just a magazine, it's a huge magazine. It's great exposure. We were like really surprised.
Alluding to Iowa City's intellectual side, also mentioned was the UI Writers Workshop. Although it is not commonly thought of by orgs such as Nat Geographic, Acting Director James Galvin responded with confidence in his writers.
As far as the workshop being mentioned as the best writing program anywhere, that's not unusual at all. That happens every day.
The next time you're stuck bored at home wondering what to do with your day, try adding a little adventure into it. Reporting from the Iowa city limits, I'm Andrew Roberts for Daily Iowan TV.
Well, Nikki, hopefully there's beautiful weather this week for those looking to take adventures out the great outdoors.
Absolutely, Cole. Let's toss it over to Andrew in the weather studio to see what kind of weather we can expect for the rest of the week.
Well, it sure was evident today that fall is in the air. On Wednesday morning, temps will be in the low 40s, so bring out the sweatshirts and pants when heading to class. As we make our way to the afternoon, we will see a rise in the temp to the mid-60s with clear skies, but expect that to feel a bit cooler thanks to the good old Iowa wind. During the evening, the skies will continue to be clear and the temp will drop down to the low 50s, so those of you with night classes, stay prepared. Moving on to the rest of the week, Thursday should be nearly identical to Wednesday, plus a few clouds in the sky. Friday and Saturday, the temps will continue to drop with highs and lows for those days settling in the 50s and 30s. Fortunately, the temp will pick up just a bit on Sunday with a high of 60 and partly cloudy skies. To start out next week, you should expect a warm and windy day with temps likely to hit 70 or higher and winds reaching up to 21 miles per hour. That's all I have for you today in the weather studio. Back to you at the desk.
Following the release of a series of undercover videos, Planned Parenthood says it will maintain programs at some of its clinics that make fetal tissue available for research, but they will no longer accept any form of payment for them. Anti-abortion activists who recently released a series of covertly filmed videos have said that Planned Parenthood officials were providing post-abortion fetal tissue to researchers for money. But Planned Parenthood countered, saying the videos were deceptively edited and denied seeking any payments beyond legal permitted reimbursement of cost. Republicans in control of Congress have responded to the undercover videos by launching several investigations of Planned Parenthood, along with efforts to cut off the organization's federal funding.
An investigation of the Malaysia Airlines plane that went missing last July pinpointed what happened to the flight. Dutch officials looking into the crash believe that the plane was hit by a Russian missile. Fragments from the missile hit the front left side of the plane, and the impact then hit along with pieces hitting the plane, caused it to split in half and disintegrate as it fell to the ground. Various pieces left from the crash were found in a 20-mile radius from where it was hit. There was 298 members on board and no survivors. Investigators found pieces of the missile in the remains of the plane, which helped determine what kind of missile caused the crash. Other factors like the pattern of the wreck and paint chips from the missile matching other debris found also led investigators to believe it was Russian-made.
Volkswagen is in hot water after it was discovered the company was cheating and avoiding emission checks on over 480,000 vehicles for 6 years. The company plans to create more hybrid and electric vehicles and change its diesel technology as soon as possible to compensate for this scandal. The cost covering recalls and fines, Volkswagen faces totals up to over $7 billion, with that number continuing to climb.
More security cameras are coming to the Eastern Iowa Airport as part of their $50 million terminal remodeling project. Additional cameras will be installed in the parking lots of the airport to ensure the safety of visitors and travelers. Along with more surveillance being installed in the parking lots, work on the West Terminal and ticket counters is also taking place.
On the second floor of the University of Iowa's Campus Rec Center, students, faculty, and community members are trying to get the most bikes biked in 48 hours. The UI's Fall Frenzy team of 56 cyclists came 11th place out of the 154 other collegiate teams last week during the qualifying rounds with a total of 488 miles biked. Teams compete in a bracket-style competition. This week, the university is riding against the Carnegie Mellon Tartans. Whichever team has the most miles at the end of the 48-hour challenge will go on to compete in the Electric 8 against other Gannon University of Pennsylvania or Sony Oswego of New York. So far this month, the registered cyclists at the UI have totaled over 74,000 miles and burned more than 3.1 million calories.
Sorry about the interruption, Nikki. Well, wow, those are some dedicated athletes.
I'd say so. Well, let's send it over to Mark and Jordan in the sports studio to check out on some other Hawkeyes currently competing.
With college basketball season just around the corner, one University of Iowa newcomer is ready to make an impact.
And it's her first season as a Hawkeye. But first, we'll take it to the pride of Iowa this fall season, the 6-0 Hawkeye football team.
Head coach Kirk Ferentz's press conference was mainly based around the injuries surrounding this Iowa football team. Hawkeye fans already know about running back LaShawn Daniels Jr., wide receiver Tavon Smith, and lineman Boone Myers, but some new developments on the injury front could serve as some bad news for this Iowa team.
Last night, unfortunately, it was confirmed after going through tests that Drew did tear his ACL, so he's going to be done here, and it's a tough deal for Drew, certainly. He's a tremendous young guy. He's done everything he possibly can, and especially tough because he's just fought back from that elbow injury. He's been playing less than 100%, pretty close last week, and now this happened. So, as good as it was on Saturday to get the victory, I think probably all of us had a little tough feeling on Saturday night, just in expectation that this may not turn out well.
Ferentz noted that if a player is on the game field, they have confidence in them, and that holds true for Ott's backup, Parker Hesse.
We beat a very good Pittsburgh team with him playing every snap out there. So, he's worked hard. I'm glad we made the move back in December. And I think every snap's certainly important. But he's coming along doing a good job.
On the offensive side, lineman Ike Botger was sidelined with an injury last Saturday and will not be healthy to play against Northwestern this week. Iowa obviously can't afford any more injuries, especially with Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week Jordan Canzeri, and Ferentz plans to put another running back into the mix.
But yeah, we'd like to, and we're going to have to. I expect we're going to have to. So, we're preparing that way, and next man in and next man ready. Right now, it's twofold. It's Akram Wadley and Derek Mitchell. So, both those guys are fully healthy now. So, I imagine we'll see at least one of them on Saturday. That'd be my guess.
Reporting outside of Kinnick Stadium, this is Laura Belanda with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
As the Hawkeyes travel to Northwestern this weekend, one of the weekly captains, Drew Ott, will be making an appearance from the sidelines.
And that has to be tough. He hasn't had to watch from the sidelines since the beginning of his freshman year.
He has definitely been a huge part of the team since he started his career at Iowa, but he is not the only Hawkeye who came to Iowa City hoping to make an impact for his team.
That's right. The Iowa women's basketball program welcomes 4 freshmen to the team this season, and one of these new Hawkeyes comes to Iowa with quite an athletic background. Sports reporter Katie Reber has the scoop.
Growing up in a collegiate athlete family, Iowa forward Tegan Larson has been playing basketball ever since she could remember.
I've been playing basketball since before I can remember. I mean, I grew up kind of having a basketball kind of family, sport family, and so it's always just kind of been something that me and my family just like to do.
And according to Tegan, this lifestyle of growing up with athletes has put her on a path to success.
It kind of impacted me to kind of strive to be better as an athlete.
The family-like team was an essential factor in Tegan's choice of college.
Just the feel of family was super important for me, and so that's a big thing that stood out.
And this Iowa women's basketball team feels like a second family to Tegan.
The coaches are great, the team is great, and such a family-oriented atmosphere.
Tegan celebrated her birthday the same day as the team's first official practice of the season. The family feel was definitely there as the team sang happy birthday to her. This welcoming family-like atmosphere is exactly what attracted Tegan to Iowa.
The biggest thing is probably just the family feel here. I mean, other teams I felt kind of was a lot of just business-like, but here everyone cares so much about each other and everyone has each other's back.
While her brother and sister chose to suit up at South Dakota State, Tegan says she wanted to follow their footsteps to the court, but in black and gold.
Just growing up with them, they kind of almost paved a path for me to kind of follow in their footsteps. I really look up to my older brother and sister just because they're such great athletes.
Even though her father played basketball at Augustana, her mom volleyball at Montana State, and her siblings at South Dakota State, they are in full support of the Hawkeye in their family.
They were super proud of me. I mean, I think there was a little push maybe to go to South Dakota State just because my brother and sister went there, my family's close to there, but they were super proud of me and really support me going to Iowa, and they're just super pumped.
And Tegan Larson is pretty pumped to be a Hawkeye too.
Be coming here and playing basketball every day with my teammates and friends, and just knowing that people here that support me, and it's just such a family feel, and so I guess just that aspect of it's been great to be a Hawkeye so far.
This has been Katie Reber, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
During her high school career in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Larson was a 4-time All-State, All-City, and All-Conference honoree.
Quite an impressive background. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you on this Tuesday evening, but we'll get right back into Hawkeye basketball tomorrow, and also we'll take a look at how Iowa volleyball is matching up in the Big Ten.
Nikki and Cole, back to you at the desk.
We end tonight with Playboy magazine. Once hiding under the beds of adolescent boys across the country, the magazine will now be putting some clothes on the girls of their pages. As of March, Playboy will no longer contain pictures of fully nude women, but with promises to continue their seductive images. Now the women will just be a little more covered. After Playboy redesigned and cleaned up their website last year, they saw a huge increase in viewers and a younger average age in that population. Now they're trying to get the same results with this new change in the magazine.
Well, Nikki, it looks like people will actually be saying that they're reading the articles this time. Well, and I guess that's all we have for you on this edition of Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Nikki Crossway.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Have a good night.